All right, let's do it live on a Football Friday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am merely Bo. He is the Admiral Z.
No, you got to earn. That's a title. It's got to be earned.
Go Navy, beat Army.
Go Navy.
Modes is going to join us.
We're decked out. That's right. Former
Army-Navy week.
Secretary of the Navy. Yes.
You will join
the great
us at
Modes
4
will
o'clock.
join us. We're decked out. You got yours on site. That's from the
that was this
bookstore,
summer.
if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
Yep, it was.
This
yeah.
is my
That's
gift
a-
here, and
that's
then
a
this
beauty.
is the one that I was given by the Blue Angels after I flew with them,
It's awesome.
which was a Blue Angel only issue.
That's amazing. The Army-Navy is tomorrow. While we play the Browns on
I just
Sunday.
call it Navy. The Navy game is tomorrow.
That's it.
Yeah.
I was saying this morning, like in an era where there's about 1 billion things to be frustrated about in major college football. If you are into the purity of the game, it's hard to beat them playing for the 126th time. The fight to sing second, like all of the things that come with it, the pageantry is absolutely undefeated. So
I
that's
think we
tomorrow
should
at
be in
3 o'clock.
attendance for one of these.
We blew it. I mean, I'm going to be real honest with you. When Modes was running things, that's when we should have went. I've lamented this many times.
I don't
But
remember that we declined an invite.
No, but you can easily, and Gibby, you remember this from when you're running 850. Like they do it with like the U.S. What is it? U.S. What's the insurance? U.S. The one that
The USAA.
Yeah, USAA. Yeah, that Gronk does. They'll go down. They get you Staubach. They get you anybody you want. They'll set you up. I mean, they take care of it. So like that was one where we probably should have just
The
forced.
problem
our
is
hand.
the bye weeks are done.
Yeah.
Like when you can take advantage of this.
Gibby,
Because I have
we know people.
one of my
I think you
great
fly us there,
friends-
fly us back.
he's got his one brother works in the White House for the Navy.
Yeah.
And he's like, anytime you want to come, we have a tailgate for 20 people and we have like 20 tickets for every game and every year and
It's one of those things that it's on everybody who's a sports fan bucket list, and
Yes.
it's one of those things you have to find a way to do it. So that will be.
It's really hard watching a mass exodus.
Boy, you want to talk about mass? I mean, that's
the question is, was any work getting done at 8:30 this morning? Probably
It's a real
not,
key.
given the fact that everybody's walking.
I don't know. They need a bigger
3:04.
stairwell for all these people.
There's like 40 people just walked out.
They have to all go home and get ready for the Festivus tonight.
Oh, that's right. Little Festivus for the rest of us.
That's right.
Is Corporal Poe going to be in attendance?
Corporal Bo's not going to be in attendance. No.
He's got obligations.
Well, that's sad.
G-Man's got
next
obligations.
year.
J-Mac's got obligations.
Next year. I am Corporate Bo is just getting used to the corporate email and was unaware of all of that.
Corporate email turns out is just like other email. They just send you emails and then you read
No,
them.
but I don't. I have 3 different, and I forget to check it.
Well, you got
That's a bad job out of me.
I'm going to tell you this. I got news for you.
Okay.
Something exciting. If
I have my bit.
you
Let me write this down.
you can have in your mail app
Yep.
all the inboxes just go into one
I couldn't get it on this one.
Screen.
I couldn't get our local one on
we can
this
do it.
one. Now I got it on the desktop.
No, we can do it here. I'm going to do
can
it.
get it
We
done?
can get. Yeah, we can make that happen.
We'll try and get it done.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got a laundry list mash unit here, kids. A
Boy,
lot going
do
on
we.
here. Final injury report of the week. The following players will not play Sunday in Chicago against the Bears. Wyatt Teller, we knew. Jack Conklin, we certainly thought. Denzel Ward, that is a bit of a new one. Aiden Huntington, the Chief, Dylan Sampson, and, of course, Deshaun. The questionable players, Joel Bitonio, Malachi Corley, Mason Graham, Cedric Tillman, Zach Zinter. No injury designation for Tevin Jenkins, who was limited yesterday with a shoulder. Okay, what is this offensive line going to look like on Sunday?
I think we're going to be fine. I think it's going to look like left to right. Cam Robinson, Joel Bitonio, Luke Whippler, who I had a lovely interview with yesterday.
Yep.
Tevin Jenkins, has no injury designation, and then KT Leviston.
Okay.
So
And
it'll be the
this-
same as last week with the exception of Whippler now stepping in for
Whippler
Posick.
Yeah. And this Sampson injury now explains the running back activity this week.
Well, it certainly explains the fact why Travion Williams is here because he will be the pass-catching back. Now, I'm open
leave
to
10 out
and
there,
I've-
man.
Thank you. I've been open to it for many, many opportunities to leave. Yeah, just get Quinshon Judkins out there and let him be that everything back. You know, be spelled when he needs to be spelled, but for the most part, just let him be the guy. He's got a 58-yard he's good in the pass game.
Yes. Yeah. And
But you're going to see Travion. I mean, my injury hit that I usually do at around 11:30, you don't need it because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right here. Well, we'll have 6. I guess there could be one more potentially because Deshaun's not technically on the roster.
Yeah. Yeah. Meantime, for Chicago, just Kyler Gordon out, Travis Homer out, Rome Odunze is questionable for this one. The Bears, of course, in the thick of a playoff race. They were the 1 seed in the NFC last week when they played their first game. They are now the 7 seed in the NFC in a conference that is ultra competitive. And certainly this is one, if you play the schedule game with them, you look at this one and say, well, this is a win. And that's going to be their attitude and mentality on Sunday.
Yep. Yeah, there is a 30% swing in their playoff chances based on the outcome of this football game. Man. A loss would be devastating to their chances. So they need to take care of their business from their standpoint, and we get to go play the role of spoiler, which is fantastic. And hopefully we're able to go out there and we're able to do that.
They are the Bears come into this one 9-4, so they are a half game out in the North, a game ahead of Detroit, but Detroit plays the Rams this week in Los Angeles. So that's a bit of a tricky one. All 3 teams, the 3 best teams in the NFC West, 10-3 for the Rams and Seahawks. The 49ers sit there at third at 9-4. I don't want to talk about the NFC South. The Packers are 9-3-1, as I mentioned. The Bears 9-4. Detroit is 8-5, and then Philly is there at 8-5 atop the NFC East. So that's where the NFC stands heading into this one in a massive game in Chicago. Still cold? Still going to be cold? Is that where we're at?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Quite cold, as a matter of fact, I'm told.
So tonight, Montana State plays 1AA football playoff game at home against Stephen F. Austin.
Are we in quarterfinals?
This is quarterfinals.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Quarterfinals
That's
of the
a big one.
It is. Yep. It's at home in Bozeman.
So they play that's a big tournament then.
Yeah. It's a playoff. True playoff. It's, yeah.
How many teams? 16?
32, I think.
32?
Yeah. You don't need that in Division I.
No, you don't need that.
But in 1AA, I mean, no, yeah, you
great.
can do it. By the way, they've been doing a playoff for 30 years.
Yeah,
Well, it's like Division III. They play 10 games.
Yeah.
They don't play 12.
No.
They play 10, and they onto the playoffs right away.
I think in 1AA they go 11.
Okay.
And then they go into the postseason. But, yeah, so it's interesting because obviously it's cold here, although with the sun out it helps, and it's going to be freezing for you guys in Chicago on Sunday. Tonight, the kick is 9 o'clock Eastern, so that's 7 o'clock Mountain. It's 48 degrees in Bozeman tonight.
What a treat.
Yeah.
Luxurious.
Which is unheard of this time of year. But
That's a best.
Yeah. I know it is a best.
I mean, those people are conditioned for the cold weather. That's a
Absolutely.
best weather.
Yeah. And by the way, like just as another massive game for Shadur, his 4th start, obviously, and all of this, he's been named obviously earlier this week by Kevin Stefanski as a starter for the rest of the way.
Yes, and appropriately so.
Yeah, of course. And another massive opportunity to impress. This laundry list of injuries that we have certainly doesn't help anybody, but it is pretty common around the league to have these type of massive. This is what this NFL has become. I mean, you think about it from the playoff teams last year, Detroit, what happened to them at the end? Their whole defense was gone by the time they got to the postseason. So that's just what NFL football is now. It's just who can get to January relatively healthy.
Indeed. By the way, I was looking up as you were talking there, the actual forecast for Soldier Field. We've got now on a high of 11, winds of 20 miles an hour, mostly sunny, very cold. Extreme cold can be dangerous for outdoor activities. The real feel with the wind chill should be around -10.
Does that stadium have I mean, like I said, the last time I was there was 20-some years ago, and it was just Soldier Field. Like, it was before they put the spaceship. And it was freezing, brutal. It was in November when I was there, and absolutely brutal cold. Does the one now, like, have warming? Nothing.
No. I mean, we were there. I believe when we were there, I want to remember, Myles actually had an interception return for a touchdown. They got called back on a Carl Nassib offsides.
No,
when
it
we
was
were
a
there.
Miles Garrett offsides.
I thought he scored.
He did.
But he was offsides?
He was offsides?
He was the one that was offsides. I'm almost positive he was the one that was offsides. It was Christmas Eve 2017. It was 0-16.
All right, I'm looking this up.
That was before I was involved in the
And
operation.
it took us 5 hours to get to O'Hare after the game to fly out.
Just
I
because
missed
of traffic,
McDonald's.
or-
I missed the tradition. It's the only one I've missed.
Yeah, this is
I
your...
am
Oh, man.
a little surly still to this day about that game.
Why does it take so long to get to O'Hare?
I was told by certain people in this building of consequence from a security standpoint that the motorcades in Chicago are trash.
Oh, they just can't.
They don't.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the first motorcades ever provided some of the greatest moments.
Yeah.
My second year in the league when we had a 4th preseason game in Chicago.
Yeah.
And we were coming down the highway from O'Hare, and someone got into the procession, and the driver got on the mic and said, "Brace for impact." And he hit the car and pushed the car out of the way and goes, "It's illegal for them to be in this."
Jeez.
And we kept going. Deke and I were in the
Nobody
front
just bounced
seat.
off?
I'm like,
My word.
what?
It's like Grand Theft Auto.
What the hell was that?
They must not be able to fly charters out of Midway, huh? Is that why?
I don't think so.
Is that why you have to go out to O'Hare?
Yeah.
It'd be real nice.
Because
if
that
you
would be
could.
really slick if you could just pop down to
Yeah.
Midway and go.
Now, there have been moments where we have left that stadium and done real well getting out. Like, we've gotten to O'Hare in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like this will be one of those times.
This ain't it. This ain't one of them, huh? In addition to all of that, we had Thursday Night Football last night. Before we get to
Boy,
the
did we.
results, I wish NFL teams would do this more often with the color on color.
It's
It was beautiful.
spectacular. It was as good as it gets.
And those are the two uniforms those two teams should be as primary.
Yes.
Atlanta, you could argue if you want to go with the Dion look or whatever, but that is those two. That looked unbelievable. It was beautiful, beautiful game, and completely improbable with what happened in the fourth quarter. I mean, just borderline impossible for Tampa Bay not to win that.
By the way, and the Falcons went for 2.
They did.
Didn't get it again, and then they got a Baker pick late. They get they turn it out, basically give them the ball right back,
Yep.
and they win. Kyle Pitts, I hate to say it, was going against Kyle Pitts in one of my fantasy leagues.
I don't even understand how you swallow that bitter pill. I mean, that's awful. He hasn't done anything in his career.
That was, somebody looked this up, that was 7%. That game is 7% of the fantasy points he's ever scored in his career.
Yeah, I believe it.
He had one touchdown all season. He had 3.
Why can't he just do that all the time? That's
Feels
who
like
I
he
thought
can.
would be.
He had 1,000 yards as a rookie. I mean, it feels like he can do this.
I just think it's crazy that isn't who he's been his whole career.
Yeah, it's crazy. By the way, did you see Mo Pedman's tweet yesterday about the uniforms? You mentioned the uniforms.
No, I did not.
And I quote,
Okay.
"These uniforms take us back to when your parents were asked smoking or non, when our
Fair.
moms had leather jackets with tassels, when we didn't fight a bot named Dennis6969 over DVOA. We had so much, but we were too young to know it. Who cares who wins? My soul has already won."
Okay, he's quite a bit younger than us. I don't think there is a scenario where he ever saw that's a perfect tweet.
It's a
I don't
great
think
tweet.
that he ever saw the Atlanta Falcons in those uniforms
No.
because those predated even the
That's
Dion
like Gerald
look.
Riggs. The only
That's way back. Yeah, you're right. That's
Steve Bartkowski.
even
So that would have been like early
late
80s,
70s, early 80s.
to like the very
Because they also went to like a red helmet before they went to like an all red outfit.
Yeah.
Then they went to the black and white.
Yeah.
When because Dion's first year they had the red helmets with the silver pants, and then in year 2 they went to the black.
Yep.
The black and white look, and
Yeah.
that's
I think Jeff George played in '94. They may have worn the red helmet in '94.
I bet it they did as the 75th
that, yeah,
anniversary or whatever when everybody wore the cool uniforms, and so they probably wore them. The Bucks were in them longer. They were in the creamsicles through the mid 90s. And then they switched to the pewter.
Like Josh Freeman was even wearing them. They wore them like
I
as
think
a,
that was
as
a
a pretty
throwback,
good
though,
one-off.
right?
Though,
As a one-off, yeah.
But like
yeah.
every year, I think it felt like
Maybe
Josh
they bring
Freeman was
him
in
out.
them for a while.
Yeah, there was.
Josh.
Then they went away for a long time, but they did I think Sapp's, if memory serves, like Sapp, Derek Brooks, like their first couple of years, they were still in creamsicle only.
Yeah, Sapp,
And
for
then they
sure.
went to the pewter and the pewter look when they won the Super Bowl. And so it's like so many of those teams that happens. Kirk Cousins has some game left in him, man. He played lights out, 30 of 44, 373, 3 scores. It's one of the. It's going to end up being one of the big what ifs.
Yep.
Because had they just not drafted Penix, now Cousins, what he blow his Achilles? that year when Penix was a
He
rookie?
did, but they'd signed him. He blew his Achilles in Minnesota.
Is that
They
how-
signed him coming off of that injury to this huge contract to be the guy.
and then they benched him in the middle of that year. That wasn't an injury that caused him to get benched?
It turns out it was. On quarterbacks, it was revealed that when his play kind of fell off a cliff, he was dealing with a significant rib injury.
Okay. But it's a great what if. Like if they had just used that pick on somebody else instead of Penix and just drafted another player and just gone with Cousins, it's curious what would have happened.
Aha! Mitch Trubisky passed incomplete short middle intended for Jordan Howard, intercepted by Myles Garrett, returned penalty on Carl Nassib.
You got it?
Offside.
Well done. I honestly, I thought Myles had jumped on that one.
It was the first play of the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the stands were so that was a game
Random
where
things
they were
that are
like,
stuck in my craw.
it's just going to be it's going to be cold. There's a chance for some flurries. And at 10 a.m., it started snowing, and by kickoff, there was 5 inches of snow on the ground. And we were like, crush this one, weather people.
Jeez. Would you guys have guessed when you were in Charlotte for joint practices that the Carolina Panthers would have a stranglehold on the NFC South with 3 weeks to go?
I would, solely based on your involvement in the outcome.
I wasn't involved in the outcome at that time. That didn't.
Well,
come
that's
till later.
fair, but I would,
if you had known that I would be involved,
you were going to jump into this into the fray, then I would
have
say
said yes. They're
How
going to be
much
the kids.
is he keeping tabs?
We went to he went to bed last night. It's 28-14, and he's like, "We're good," because he's always so positive always. He's like, "We're good. We got him 2 out of the next 3 times. It's fine. No big deal. We'll take care of it." By the way, he's calling him "we." I mean, it's gross. And
great colors, though. I mean, like
it's an awesome
an
uniform.
awesome, and their gear, like he gets
Yeah.
great hoodies. Their blue hoodies are great. Their black hoodies are great.
Keep pounding.
When he was a little kid, and I made him pick an NFC team
That's what it says on the
to
drum.
root
Yeah,
for in
right,
case
yeah.
things didn't go well for us. It does. It says it on the collar
Yeah.
because we have several of those jerseys. And so it's that color scheme. They're the Panthers. They had Cam.
Yeah.
That was an easy sell.
Cam, by the way, have you seen it? He is offended
Yeah.
that the Colts did not call him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Steichen coached Phillip Rivers for a long time.
The athlete podcast stuff is it's tough.
It's tough.
It's
listen.
tough for me.
There is a significant motive to stay relevant,
Of course.
through the discourse.
Absolutely. But that team's going to win that division.
Yeah.
They're going to win that division. It's nuts. So he went to bed 28-14 this morning when he got up, cackling.
Question: Did you? So he looked on his device to find the score.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should have. If it were simpler times,
Yeah.
perhaps we could have invited him downstairs, and you just turn the TV on to Todd Bowles' press conference, and then say, "Well, what do you think happened here?"
What do you think happened here?
Yeah,
That's an interesting tone out of him, to say the least.
you know, I like it. It's real.
I do too. It is real.
It's a real emotion. He's
Yeah.
fed up. Clearly,
He's
there
done.
are things going on behind the scenes that people are not doing the things they need to do to be successful.
Yep.
And he's had it.
He's had enough. Yeah. I like it too. This is it. You
We're
ask the
people-
question, I'll give you the answer.
The
This is what's
reason
going
we
on.
still talk about the Mike Leach interviews because they were real people who answered in a very relatable, emotional way.
Absolutely.
And I think that's fun.
I think if you're a Bucks fan, you're pretty pissed off about all of it, but at least you're like, that guy's got a pulse.
Well, you saw
He's-
Gerald McCoy came to his defense and he said, "Listen, I know you guys are all saying Todd Bowles, but I'm not saying I know what's going on, but I know what's going on, and there's a lot behind the scenes that has gotten him to the point where he was that fed up."
Can you imagine that? And they were 5-1, that team. Those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. We'll go behind enemy lines next. Jeff Joniak joining us, the voice of the Chicago Bears, joins us coming up next. We're off and running. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Browns fans, head to Vivid Seats to purchase your VIP lounge experience package. Packages come with lower bowl ticket, parking, all-inclusive food and beverage, and the opportunity to watch players leave the locker room through the tunnel access. Visit vividseats.com/Browns today. We are efforting Jeff Joniak, I do believe. I don't think we have him yet, but we are efforting him. Bears and Browns on Sunday over in Chicago. Saturday night, one of the great loves of your life, the WWE historic match. John Cena, buddy, last time out.
Yeah, the last time is now. That is going to be supposedly, you never say never in this business, but this has been kind of the culmination of his retirement. It was set for this day, this Saturday night's main event, and he is facing Gunther, which there are a lot of people that are big Gunther fans. I respect his work. It is a very physical style that he has. He is, from a little bit of a bygone era in terms of when I think he would have been at his best. They're going to build him up into this monster. I'm sure he's going to vanquish John Cena. I find his matches to be a lot like I find sleeping pills.
Same.
It's just not. It's not my style. It's not for me. The chopping is great and the power bombs are great, and he's probably going to make John Cena tap out, which is absurd, but it's going to happen. But nonetheless, that's what it is. There's so many different people I would have picked for this match before him, but I understand you got to make a star out of it, and so that's what they're going to do. Although Gunther is pretty well established, but yeah, so that's going to be
where is Cena historically for you?
I mean, I think that it's probably fair to say that he would be, if you're being really honest about it, and so you only could have, one person from each era on a Mount Rushmore, that he'd be on the Mount Rushmore, just in terms of the length of time. It kind of went from, Hogan, from a WWF perspective, not just pure wrestling, but it went Hogan to Stone Cold and The Rock had their kind of, I would say, a shared era of mutual greatness, to the Cena era, to the Roman Reigns would be most recently. And now they're trying to get Cody Rhodes to that level, but I don't know if he'll ever – I mean, Cody Rhodes is a megastar, but I don't know if he is going to end up having his own era. But that's kind of the way that it's gone. John Cena has that kind of cachet. And, I mean, he's wrestled – he was in the main event of WrestleManias for basically 20 years.
That's crazy, dude.
When you think about Hogan's main event run at WrestleMania, it basically went from 1 through 9, and then he came back, obviously, and did The Rock at WrestleMania 18, which is my favorite match ever. But John Cena's first, title match main event, which didn't close the show, but was, a big title match, was WrestleMania 21, and he's been wrestling.
Jeez, that's unbelievable.
So he had a pretty long run. Now he was gone for a while in there, so it's not the full straight through. But he's had a lot of longevity, and he's been John Cena he certainly is one of the all-time greats. There's no doubt.
That's wild. Would you go Hogan, Rock, Austin, Cena as the four on the Mount Rushmore?
The reality is you almost need more, because you can't tell the story. If you went, let's start with them. Let's start at that era, so we're not going back to Bruno Sammartino and things of that nature. But you got, Hogan, Flair, Rock, Austin, Cena, Roman Reigns. Undertaker probably deserves to be on there for the longevity of his character and the fact that it was just the mystique that he had for so long. He was incredible. So John Cena's basically 16 WrestleManias. This says 5 main events, but he was in the big match that wasn't necessarily last many, many times. And now it's hard to even know, because now WrestleManias are 2 nights, so there's 2 main events. It's different. But, he's up, 5 WrestleMania main events is...
That's getting after it.
Pretty serious.
All right, time to the podium. We are presented by Vivid Seats when we do this, and you can purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Here is your head coach, Kevin Stefanski.
All right, good work out there.
Goes down.
Guys, finishing touches tomorrow, and then get on the airplane, and, really good opponent, NFC opponent, a really good combination of scheme players, so really great challenge in front of us. So we got to be about our business when you get on that airplane. But with that, I'll take any questions.
Did Denzel come close to potentially playing, or was it just
too risky? You feel like?
Yeah, I think, as you know, with every injury, you have to treat the injury, and unfortunately wasn't able to make it this week. We have different guys that will work through there.
He's relatively new
here.
I know he played for Denzel the other days. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, has fit in really well, has played meaningful snaps for us on defense and on special teams, really brings a size element, a speed element, of physicality, so like what Sam brings.
It seems like the most guys that you've had out for a game, so how do you feel about having to head into a challenging game like this with a little bit of a skeleton crew in some areas?
Yeah, that's part of the game, Mary Kay, and a lot of what we do as coaches is work through contingency plans and see who's available. And there's always uncertainty going into football games of who may or may not play. So we just work through those things. It's a kind of you deal with whatever's in front of you.
Travion having been here before, can he be up to speed fast enough to have a role on Sunday?
I think so. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, very intelligent player, veteran. So he can do whatever's asked of him.
Tevin is obviously starting in Wyatt's place. If for some reason Joel and Zach can't go again, who's the option?
We have different options that we've worked through all week, and we'll see what it looks like in the next 48.
I know Joel does everything he can to play, so if he's able to be out there, how important to have that continuity when you're missing
Sure.
the guys?
Yeah, obviously continuity along the offensive line is ideal, not always realistic. But if you can have your veterans out there when you're dealing with some of the injuries, that would be beneficial. But like we've said before, you got to get everybody ready to play.
Some of your questionable guys, do you feel pretty good about maybe Mason being able to get out there?
I think it's hard to say, Mary Kay. I think with all of these injuries, I think you have to treat the injury, treat the players, see how they respond today, see how they respond tomorrow before you can really make a decision.
Go ahead.
The weather element of this game, obviously, you know what it's going to be. How would you kind of prep your guys for, obviously.
Yeah, listen, weather's part of the game. It's the same for both teams. Like I've told you guys before, we deal with elements. We don't control them. So sometimes it's wind, sometimes it's rain, sometimes it's really hot day, sometimes it's really cold day. You have to focus on doing your job regardless of what the elements are.
KT obviously going to start right tackle. Montez Sweat for the Bears, he seems to primarily lineable. How much of a challenge is that going to be for KT to do? And what has Sweat meant to that?
Yeah, he's a great player. We've played against him when he was in Washington. We played against him when they traded for him in Chicago. I have a ton of respect for how he plays the game. He's big, physical, disruptive in the run, disruptive in the pass. So it's our job as an offense to try to limit him. Not going to be about one person.
Defense that has the most interceptions in the league right now. But what has your conversations with Shedeur been like going into knowing that you're so prone to making balls?
Yeah, as a team, they lead the league in turnover margin. They lead the league in interceptions. Bayard's as good as anybody at playing the quarterback's eyes. They have great ball skills at a lot of their positions. Their guys are really good at that. So as a quarterback, you have to understand all those things, and then you have to play your position. You got to trust your eyes. You have to trust what you see, and you have to make accurate throws. We have to do a great job with those throws when we're receivers and tight ends and running backs of securing the catch in those type of situations. But they do a really good job, so it just means that we have to be on top of what we see and then great in the pass game. But you have to also go into this game understanding that you're going to have to do your job really regardless of what's going on the other side.
Do you have to prepare your guys just for the intensity of a game where the team that you're playing is December football and they're in the the thick of the hunt for the NFC North and all of that?
I think our guys understand certainly what our game is versus a really good football team. We respect who they are, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a physical 60-minute football game like you would expect. So I think the guys are excited about the opportunity.
Going back to the cold and some of the injuries, specifically a guy like Joel, how does that factor into the equation? How the cold could impact.
Yeah, I don't know that it factors too much into the injuries themselves. if the guys are able to go, they'll go. Obviously, when you're talking about muscle injuries, you need to make sure you're keeping those guys warm throughout the game. So that's something that I think both teams will be hyper aware of. But we'll see how those guys respond before we make a decision.
Shador's had several weeks of practice as the starter. Is there something you can point to, like during the practice week, just operationally, that he's doing better, or maybe it's going smoother just because you're now in routine?
Yeah, I think it's all of the above. I think the more turns you get at something, the more comfortable you get. You're working with a new center this week, so that's a different challenge in a good way, where you have to get on the same page with Whip and have some dialogue and conversations about certain things that you're doing in a game. So I think all of it for a young player is important. I think it all adds up. Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, Jeff Joniak, voice of the Chicago Bears, is going to join us coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Add more fun to your fandom with the Bally Bet Sportsbook app. Download today. Get 50 back in bonus bets. You place your first wager of 10 or more. Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time to go behind enemy lines via the Twisted Tea hotline presented by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted. And on the other end of the hotline, we find our good buddy Jeff Joniak. He is the voice of the Chicago Bears on ESPN Chicago 1000, and he joins us there. Jeff, thanks so much for taking the time. Let's just go big picture before we get into the matchups for this weekend. What has Ben Johnson brought to this operation that has them in the spot that they're in? Obviously, the talent, there's a lot of it. It speaks for itself. But what change has he brought that is most obviously noticeable to you?
You know, a no-nonsense attitude, and good to talk to you guys. No nonsense, set the tone really with his first team meeting, first press conference. I liken it to a syllabus that you get in college for your first class or whatever, and here's what we're going to do, here's who we're going to be, here's how we're going to do it, and we're going to be rolling in December. So he kind of has checked boxes all along the way while growing a young quarterback and winning at the same time, with still a heck of a lot of growth to come in years to come for Caleb Williams. So it's a mindset. They want to be tough, physical, and nasty in each of the three phases, and they're living up to it so far.
They certainly are. They certainly are, and you mentioned the running game and the toughness there. DeAndre Swift having another excellent season, but Kyle Monangai has really kind of been that hammer. It's funny, you talk to guys on our staff and players about him, and they all immediately, man, that kid runs hard. Mm-hmm. What has he kind of brought in that two-headed running back monster that you'd seen so often in Detroit with Gibbs and Montgomery is now in some form there in Chicago?
Right, it's a great point. I've been calling him Mighty Monangai, and it happened in the Cincinnati game because there was a scrum, and, you know, he's 5'8" on a good day. I'm 5'7.5". I just sat down and did a TV feature for our Bears TV show last week, and he's got this sly grin on his face. You know, we're in the land of the Giants here, but he does not flinch ever. That collision, I'm sure, Nathan and Bo, you saw it on tape, mm-hmm. where some of the helmet busted on the
it was on Angry Runs.
Oh, it was. Okay. Yep. I did give a shout-out to my guy Kyle Brandt in the hall. Because, I mean,
nice.
But that's been common all the way through from training camp. And I'll tell you who gets a big shout out here is Eric Bieniemy. So by reputation, I had never met the man other than, you know, maybe a few Super Bowl interviews. But, man, that guy is also no nonsense and a tone setter. And just listening to training camp practices, off-season practices was a joy. I told anyone who was visiting, don't just watch, listen. And he would not let them do anything wrong. Like, if you're making a mistake, we're doing it over and we're starting from scratch. Holds him accountable, very firing himself. And I think it's been a perfect marriage with these two running backs. And the offensive line gets a ton of credit, guys. Mm-hmm. They've been outstanding. You know, since week 5, I believe we have the number one offense yardage-wise in the NFL. I don't know if I buy into that. It's about points and all that. But it says something because we've struggled for so long here offensively, and that offensive line is kicking some tail.
Jeff, the man who takes the centers behind the snaps behind that offensive line is Caleb Williams. You take somebody number 1 overall, you expect a franchise quarterback. The wins are certainly there. My goodness, has he had a ton of moments, a ton of clutch moments. How would you kind of put this season for him in perspective? Because when you watch him play, you see some plays where you're like, my goodness, that's exactly why he goes number 1 overall. But there's also some learning curve there. How do you put that into perspective?
Well, it's a complicated offense, number one, and Ben tried to give him as much as he could possibly handle to see what he could handle and pare it down as they go. And this is just the infancy of many years, to be quite blunt. I think many of us have been around this game for a long time, me for almost 30 years, and you hear different perspectives from offensive coaches and coordinators. Some say, hey, it takes 3 years. Others, they try and keep it simple. But this is going to be the Bears offense as seen through the eyes and the mind of a brilliant play caller and designer in Ben Johnson and his staff. So that's what I alluded to at the outset.
Yeah.
There's a process here, process-driven. First, you got to be able to own the huddle. You got to be able to spit out the play. Then you got to get to the line of scrimmage. They had a bunch of pre-snap penalties early in the season. Those have tapered down considerably. That process, okay, identifying all the shifts and motions that have been added to this offense has really picked up after the bye week, which was early, week 4, and it's helped the running game. But that's also a process. And now there's still phases to come. But in the fourth quarter, he's a madman. He does not flinch, and he has just been amazing with his ability to escape trouble and still keep his eyes downfield like he did in college, and not just lean into it and have that be the only reason that he's making some big plays. It's all of it, and it's all coming together, and it won't be a finished product for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's been, at your point, clutch, 5 game-winning drives, 5 fourth-quarter comebacks. He's taking care of the football. He's not getting sacked at the rate that he was, even though he's still holding the ball a great deal. I do want to ask about in the pass-catching game. You know, Rome Odunze's had a nice season. DJ Moore's having a historically low season for him in his career. But the guy that I feel like is a weapon, and obviously they drafted him 10th overall, Colston Loveland's kind of come on strong the last 6 games, 50 yards, 4 touchdowns in the last 6. How have they kind of incorporated him, and what's kind of going on overall with the pass catchers? Because there's a lot of mouths to feed all of a sudden with Luther Burden added in the mix as well, Cole Kmet. How is that kind of going and playing out?
Well, it was a big question at the start of the season. How, you want to field a basketball team, but how are you going to feed everybody the ball? And Ben is very conscious of it, and he goes in with good intentions to spread it around. But as you know, it's all about where your eyes take you when you go through your progressions, what's available at that moment for the comfort of the quarterback. So when you mention Loveland, he is their leading receiver right now since week 6, which I didn't even really realize until I dug into the stats a little bit. But he is their leading pass catcher right now during that period of time, and it's lockstep with this surge offensively where they ranked during that time, as I alluded to. So, and let's not forget the other aspect of Colston Loveland and these receivers, and they all block. And I know people chuckled when Ben said, "Hey, no block, no rock," but that's an anthem. It is an absolute priority. If you don't, you're not going to get the ball. That's not to indicate that a guy like DJ is not getting the ball because of a lack of. No, they're all blocking. You can see it on tape. I know you guys watch it, Nathan. You dive into it deep. To me, there's so much motion and so much movement that I have to go back and forth and watch that tape to see actually what's going on. But they're fitting up, and it's a beautiful picture right now in the run game. Would you agree when you're watching that? Yeah. It's very synchronized.
Absolutely, and that's kind of when these types of offenses are at their best. I go back to in 2014 when we had Kyle Shanahan here, and it was choreography, and to the detail down to where guys' toes were as they were getting onto their tracks. Yeah, it is a beautiful thing when you have the two guys the way that the Bears do, and you have the 2 tight ends that you can use, and they use 3 of them. But when you have those multiple looks and formations and you get the motions, you can sometimes get linebackers out of where they really want to be or should be because of those motions, and then you're able to hit those big gains, especially if you have receivers blocking down the field. Yeah, they're one of the more fun offenses, honestly, to watch in the league. And, I think you go back to last week, great play call at the end. If Caleb puts a little more loft on that ball, we're talking about this team in a completely different way, right? Going into Green Bay, maybe beating the Packers, number 1 seed, and still, though, you can see it all there. That wasn't, and Jordan Love couldn't have played any better last week, and that went down to the wire. So, there's a lot going on, I think, in this offense, and, we're pretty banged up. I'm sure you saw, Jeff, the injury list here today. It's going to be a tall order. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. But, you never overlook anything. So,
no.
They're going to, from a Bears perspective, they're going to ball up their fists and expect a big fight from Cleveland. And, when and it's happened here, you almost feel helpless, right, when all these bodies are not available, especially up front. So it'll be, hey, listen, you got a game wrecker over there. So that number 95 would keep me up at night. I asked Tom Thayer, my broadcast partner, who was your guy to keep you? And it was Reggie White. And someone asked me last night, has there been a dominant player that this 95 Myles Garrett that you have to account for at all time? You can pick many guys, but in terms of sheer dominance, I said Reggie White. He's that type of a guy that's going to cause you a lot of concern down in, down out. And I still can't get out of my head the Euro step against Trent Williams.
It's unbelievable.
Out of my mind.
It doesn't look real.
I slowed it down about 15. How did? And then just to see the body reaction of Trent Williams was priceless. Like, that's a Hall of Famer, man. That was something. That's beyond special. That's cyborg stuff.
It certainly is. Speaking of special on defense, and we know Myles is chasing history, but the Bears are doing something. You look at the stats. If you just look at kind of the yards and things, you're saying this defense, it's not that great. They lost Tremaine Edmonds, and who was playing very well for him, but this defense is taking the football away at almost a historic rate. 18 interceptions leads the NFL, the 27 takeaways. You got the interceptions leader, you got the takeaways leader, and Bayard and Nashawn Wright, respectively. How are they doing? How do they continue to take the football away? Plus 17 in the turnover differential, but the 27 takeaways is just, that's a stunning number.
Yeah. Well, it likens to the 2018 Bears with Vic Fangio, so they're kind of chasing that number as well because they took the ball away a lot. Obviously, we're a good playoff team that won the division and unfortunately double-doinked out of it. But it's a mindset. I had a conversation with Al Harris. He's an outstanding DB coach and pass game coordinator. He's gotten the most out of his group. I always felt the secondary was the heartbeat of the team and the best unit going out of last season into this season. And, the offensive line, in my opinion, has surpassed them now, in my opinion. But it's still a group that sets the tone for the day. They're like a bunch of bumblebees buzzing around. Can't call them the Killer Bees. That's the old Miami Dolphins. Can't do that. But I don't have a nickname for them yet. But they're just so I had this conversation with Al Harris. I said, he cut me off. It's a mindset. I tried to explain why this. Nope, it's a mindset because they're seemingly always around the ball. But you can say that's luck. I've been dissuaded from that. Yes, sometimes the ball bounces your way, but you have to have it as a mindset of being in the right place, knowing where the ball might go based on, what the offense is doing, what they like to do. And I think they have done a great job of that, of sniffing things out. And Bayard's just ball hawking. Yep. And Nashawn Wright gets tested time in and time out, but he's allowing 53% target completion, and he's got the 5 interceptions and 8 takeaways. So he's doing a lot of good things, and a guy who's getting the most playing time of his career. That to me has been one of the best stories of the NFL this year. Is right.
Jeff, you mentioned the Myles and just the dominance that Myles has shown this year. Obviously, there isn't anybody else in the league quite like him, but you've seen Ben Johnson attack pass rushers and try to help Caleb. What do you anticipate them throwing at Myles on Sunday?
Oh, my gosh. Everything, right?
Yeah.
That's maybe the only way. I don't know. It's we already experienced that with Justin Fields. He had 4.5 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I think, you still don't – any really good pass rusher or edge defender, don't be afraid to run at him. I guess, he's also great at that, though. So, I guess it's yet to be seen. I don't quite know how to defuse that bomb. Myself,
nobody does.
But, Ben, yeah. We've already played Max Crosby, and we weathered his first half. He was dominant. Second half, things changed. Very quiet. So whatever they did then, we faced, obviously, Hutchinson in week 2. Going to face him again. We had Micah Parsons last week. Micah Parsons was frustrated. Flat out said a lot of bad words on the post-game, about not being able to get to Caleb, and called him a pit bull. And Caleb's thick. He's hard to bring down. He may not be the tallest guy, but he's a lot stronger than you think, and with a great spin move to get out of trouble, eyes behind his head type of thing. So I think that's the intrigue of this game. Is what do you send at Myles, and how do you help a rookie left tackle and Ozzie Trapillo?
Who's played very well in his 3 starts there for the Chicago Bears. Jeff, Caleb last year was sacked 68 times, and I realize it's a different scheme, all of that, but he's still holding the ball as long as anybody in the league. He still, has plenty of plays where he holds it for more than 4 seconds, but he has one of the lowest rates of turning kind of those pressures and holding the ball long into sacks this year after having one of the highest last year. What's really changed in that? Because he's still taking pressure, he's still holding it, but the sacks are just not happening like they did a year ago.
Well, I mean, the offensive line is definitely vastly improved, night and day. So you've got an all-pro and Joe Tooney, who knows nothing but winning in his life, and really technically and fundamentally is perfect as you can get. I mean, he's probably similar in that regard to Joel Bitonio. That's another guy who's just super technique sound, and just another year of experience and just how Ben wants. So the bottom line is the quarterback and the center, at a minimum, have to see the game through the eyes of the head coach and play caller, in this case, the head coach. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's helping. And Caleb just has this innate ability to not have to rush out of the pocket and just go pick up rushing yards, but actually keep his eyes downfield in the face of pressure, yet get rid of it in a timely fashion so as to not take a sack. He's been pressured a ton. There's no question about it, even with the improvement on the offensive line. But I think he knows better than to eat it and take the pounding because that's never good.
Jeff, we appreciate you much.
Yes.
Thank you so much for giving us some of your time. We'll see you over there on Sunday.
Okay, bundle up. It's only going to be now. I'm hearing 10 below zero wind chill. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
It's
warm. It's warm. Thanks, man.
See you guys.
All right, there he goes. Jeff Joniak,
Bye-bye.
voice of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago 1000. It is Army-Navy tomorrow in Baltimore. The former United States Secretary of the Navy joins us for a preview. Coming up next, you'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Fill in your game day cooler with the refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Smooth, real brewed tea with a 5% kick of alcohol. Look for the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted, Cleveland. All right, time to head out on that Twisted Tea hotline presented by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. He is the former Secretary of the United States Navy. He is a great friend of the program. He has christened this very studio that we are in. He is the Honorable Thomas Modley, and
Yes.
he joins us. Sir, it is Army-Navy week. There is no one we would rather talk to. We are in our Navy regalia. We are ready to go. Roll goats on Saturday. As someone who this means so much to, for folks who haven't experienced it, how would you put what is going to happen tomorrow in Baltimore into perspective?
Oh, well, hello, guys, and
Yes.
thanks for having me back on. How's the studio doing? Is it still shipshape and
Of course.
underway?
Of course, and in fact, we're going to be eventually we'll have new digs, and hopefully we'll have one of the requests was that we have room to properly display great things like
that's right.
the thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the fact that we are in fact commissioned here.
Great, that's good. Well, yeah, it's a really, really special game, particularly for folks that have attended either one of the service academies, but also for people who have served in either one of the services, the Army or the Navy. It's very, very special. And I remember the first time I went as a plebe at the Naval Academy in '79, marching on that field. It was a big, huge stadium, the old JFK Stadium in Philadelphia. And it was just overwhelming because of the history and the tradition. And it's become an even bigger game over the past 30 years for some reason. It's become very popular. And obviously it's the front end of the bookend of the Heisman Trophy Award ceremony, too, at the end of the day. So it's really been great.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't know if you saw that Navy just had their guard, who's from Copley, named a first-team All-American.
It was a Copley kid.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was actually DM'd about it. I got to go look in my DM so I can get the kid's name. I'll get that in a second.
Well,
but it's turned into it is a big deal.
Yeah, I'll brag about Navy a little bit this year. In the era with NIL and portals and all this kind of stuff, that Navy's been able to field an extremely competitive team this year with a quarterback that's had over 1,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing in the same season. I think for 2 years in a row. It's really remarkable, and it's a really interesting group of kids on this team, or midshipmen on this team. The running back and wide receiver were actually teammates together in Mount Lebanon in Pittsburgh, and decided to go to Navy together, and they've both been really, really big contributors to the team. So we're expecting big things tomorrow.
Yeah, Landon Robinson is the name of the young man from Copley, named first-team All-American. He was a nose guard. Is that right?
Yep.
A nose guard.
By the way,
Army 9-2, 7-point favorites. Let's go. I mean, Navy 7-2, 9-2, and a 7-point favorite. Let's go.
The quarterback for Navy, Blake Horvath, is a Hilliard, which is a suburb of Columbus, of course. He's a Hilliard kid, and he is extraordinary player. And if the injury doesn't happen, I think he's probably getting some Heisman stuff too, Mr. Modley, in terms of the job that he's done. And when we were there this summer, and of course you arranged for the tour for me and the wife and the boys, and we had just the time of our life in Annapolis. And the way that the young plebe talked about Horvath and just kind of what he has meant to the academy, it's a remarkable story that he's trying to culminate with another win over Army.
Well, yeah, even with the injury that he had, which sort of took him out of the Notre Dame game, which was probably their worst loss of the season, they were competitive in every other game, and that one they really weren't. But even given that, I mean, I still think he should have received some Heisman consideration. So if you put him behind the Indiana line or the Ohio State line, what could he have done with those receivers? Based on, the guy to be out there and for the award this year. So I don't know. I think oftentimes the athletes at the academies are overlooked because of the team that's around them are not at the same level as some of the other D1 teams. But like I said, a 9-2 record this year is really remarkable, and we're really proud of them.
1,390 passing and 1,000 rushing.
He gets a 10-2
for Horvath. Yeah,
let's go. This will be a big win. How about the uniforms this year? Well, we're big uniform guys. Just spectacular.
Well, I hear about the uniforms from you guys before I hear about them from anybody else.
That feels appropriate.
I feel like I'm totally out of the loop. But yeah, you guys always send me those, and yeah, this year's are really, really special. They are in tribute to the six frigates, the first six frigates that were built for the United States Navy back in 1775 or so, and they're very, very cool combination of colors and style and historical relevance. So it's great.
What I think is so cool about this is these two, they compete at everything. I mean, they compete for funding. They compete in sports. Every time they play each other in any of the sports on campus, either place, or in this is obviously the pinnacle of it, and even the uniform game. Army's Nike and Under Armour with Navy, and it's like a competition who can do the better uniform every year, and then who gets to sing second. You know, I mean, that's it. And you got to stand. You lose this game, you got to stand there next to the other one as they sing to their folks, and that's. You're right, sir. In terms of NIL and free transfer and all of the just absurd stuff that's happening in the sport, there's a purity what's going to happen tomorrow that's really second to none.
Yeah, it's very true. And when I was secretary back in 2019, that's the last game I attended, and I had just the privilege to sit next to the president during that game, and then also be on the field at the end of it, and to stand there with the midshipmen and sing the Navy Blue and Gold with them was really, really special. And they pulled me into the locker room and unexpectedly asked me to say a few words, and I had nothing to say. It was really difficult to get because it was such a great victory, and it was very emotional, and you just feel yourself very tied to that Navy community and the Academy community in those moments, and so it was very, very special.
Can we all need to go to this together, I feel like.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Can we make that happen, sir?
Well, it's not up to me. You guys are
well, if you for you to be there with us, it's up to you. We need you in. I feel like you know some people.
Here, I will tell you something. If you guys decide that you want to go, I will definitely attend the game with you.
There we go.
That's a
then there it is. So it is written, so it is so. Speaking of exciting things, one of the things that you did in your time there with the Navy was you made sure that the name Cleveland was going to be one that lived on, not just as this city, but in the form of a new ship, the USS Cleveland. And I know we're inside of 150 days, according to our sources. With knowledge,
sources.
we have quite good sources on that one. How excited are you for this? And I know your lovely wife, Robin, is the ship mother of the USS Cleveland. What's going on with that? And kind of give us the latest on the USS Cleveland.
Well, it's taken a little longer than we all thought it would. We announced the naming of the ship from the deck of the USS Cod back in 2018 when I was the undersecretary. And it's been quite a journey. The ship was christened a couple of years ago, and it's finishing up its sea trials up in Wisconsin where it's being built, and then it's going to come down through the Great Lakes this spring. And the plan, I believe, right now is May 16th is for the commissioning. So there'll be a lot more information about that, but we would love to have a huge Cleveland crowd down there for that commissioning. It's just going to be a very special day for the city, for the Navy. It's the first time ever that a ship has really been commissioned in its home city like this, and particularly for Cleveland. And this is the fourth ship named after the city. So we've gotten to know, and Robin, my wife, is the ship sponsor. She's gotten to know very close, all the sailors on the ship. They're basically going to be based in Jacksonville, which is not too far from where we live. So she was just over there doing a Christmas party and cookout with them, and so yeah, she couldn't be more excited. And we'll be up in Cleveland for at least a week to 10 days prior to the commissioning, doing a variety of different events. So looking forward to it.
And I'm pretty sure we play in Jacksonville next year. Again, I think that's on the Browns.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, Jacksonville next year.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's good. Well, we'll make sure we get the crew there.
Well, they were all there last time when we were down in Jacksonville. We got to win.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And folks, if you want one of the more fascinating reads, your book Vectors is unbelievable. 5-star reviews all over Amazon, and it's an incredible read. It just your account of your time, and I really recommend it to folks, especially this time of year. So
you get the audio version as well. He's
that's
done
true.
The audio version, which makes it good when you're driving around.
Absolutely.
So well, you guys are very kind. I appreciate the words. It was quite an effort to put that book together.
It is. It's not for the faint of heart. That's one of those old school. You pick that book. There's got some heft to this book.
Yeah.
the last chapter of the book is called Beat Army, and or Beat Army, I think. And I think if you just pick it up and read that, you'll understand a lot more about what that term means to people that go to a service academy like Navy or Army. And it means more than the game. It means a lot more than the game. It means about what team you're on, and you're joining together in collaboration and love for each other. That's really what Beat Army's about, and it's also about just sort of standing up for doing the right thing when you need to.
Sir, we thank you so much for your
Love it.
time. Go Navy,
Boats.
beat Army tomorrow. Great talking to you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Let's
Go
go.
Browns. Go Navy.
There he goes.
Beat Army.
Former Secretary of the Navy Thomas Modly joining us on the Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea Hotline. We'll do a little over-unders.
How many NFL shows are having that?
One. Cleveland
right.
Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Rumpke Waste Recycling, great place to start and build a career. Check out the latest opportunities to join the team that's working together to keep your community clean and green. Learn more at rumpke.com. Before we get into your over-unders, your Sunday forecast is set. It is sunny, but it's cold. High of 11, a real feel of -1, although Jeff Joniak told us -10 was his air temp. So that you have that looking forward to look, which is nice, guys. Sustained winds of 12, wind gusts to 20. Good Lord.
Here's the thing. I actually think that forecast might be better there than it's going to be here.
Oh, really? Is that what I'm looking at?
Winter storm warning.
Oh, great.
Till Monday morning. Sunday especially. Like major wind chills, like, hey, if you don't have to be outside, don't. Significant snowfall, all kinds of stuff going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the Big L liked our Navy get up there.
Yeah, I thought so.
That's what I took from that.
Seemed to be excited about that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it? Would you know? Is there a connection or just?
They are very familiar with the Modleys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. We'll get to the keys. Should we do the keys now or the
You do
over?
the keys now.
Let's do the keys. For the keys to victory in Chicago on Sunday, we turn it over to Dr. Z.
All right. Offensively, we've got to take care of the football. This is a team that is winning games because they take the football away. 18 interceptions, 27 total takeaways. So offensively, we've got to protect the football. I think we'll be able to run the ball, and I do think we'll be able to hit some shot plays down the field against this defense. When they have the football, we want to try to stop the run and limit the explosives. This is one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL, bar none. Almost 100 explosive plays already this season. They're top 5 in that. They have the most explosive runs, which are runs of more than 10 yards. And we know last week we got gashed in the run game by Tony Pollard and the Tennessee Titans. They are going to run the ball. They'll be committed to it. They're going to use all those motions and shifts, the 2 tight ends, extra offensive line, whatever, you name it. They're going to bring it out there with DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai. So you've got to be ready for that, and you want to try to turn Caleb Williams into a drop-back passer, and if so, you try to harass him. When he's under pressure, his completion percentage falls to about 40%. So that, I think, is the key offensively, and then the third part is we don't want to talk about special teams at the end of this game, and if so, I think we've got a chance to win.
There you go. All right, time for a little over-under.
Yeah, baby.
Champions pose.
There's still the same sheriff in town. In fact, I'm going to have a delicious chocolate chip cookie
look at that.
after the over-unders. We're going to heat it up.
What a treat.
Yeah,
You're going
that's
to go get a little heat up?
My guy Bob Short.
Bobby Short.
Yeah, this is from the Hatfields.
Okay.
Hatfields, supposedly direct descendant of the Hatfields and McCoys in Cleveland. And they make the best. He says,
Excuse me?
He said, this will be the best chocolate chip cookie you've ever had.
This is direct descendant of the Hatfields from the Hatfields and McCoys?
This is what I'm told.
Good night.
I'm
intrigued. I'm
gonna look at, maybe that's on makes it onto the
you guys, we treaded water last week.
Perfect.
Both of you guys went 3-4. And so Dr. Z is now 43-30 on the season. Gibbe is 39-34. Dr. Z's lead remains 4 games.
That's fine.
4 to play.
Let's go through the playoffs. So we're all right.
You got time. All right. Let's kick it off.
Here we go. Chef Ken Hatfield has been a chef for 35 years. He is a direct descendant of the infamous Hatfields from the famous American Family Feud between the Hatfields and the McCoys.
That's unbelievable.
There you go.
How do you end up here?
It's a great question.
I don't know, but
aren't they Missouri? Isn't Hatfield McCoy's Missouri?
You got Ken Hatfield, you got
Midwest.
Jessica Hatfield, and then you got Ma. M-A-W is the CFO and owner. I love this place already. We're about to get a nice little cookie review to reward
How's
me
the
really
logo?
for my excellence in the over-unders. It's awesome. It's a Hatfield's Burgers Brunch Barbecue, catering, food trucks, restaurant. This looks tremendous.
Oh, no. I had it. It's West Virginia, Kentucky, along the
Lorraine
Tug Fork in Big Sandy River.
On Lorraine. John Doss loves going there.
It's a 28. It was a 28-year feud. It went. There was an end to it. August 1863 to 1891.
Yeah.
Hatfields of West Virginia, the McCoys of Kentucky.
Man.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. There you go. All right, Dr. Z, we'll start with you. We are looking for a passing yardage number for one Shedeur Sanders. And the number we are looking for is 181.5.
I thought you were going to go 175.5.
I went 181.5.
This vexes me.
a
I am
great
terribly vexed. When you look at quarterbacks against this Bears defense of late, last 4 games, no quarterback has thrown for 250 yards. And in fact, 2 of the last 4 have been under your number. The weather is a factor here. I do think we need to run the football. but I just believe in this kid. I
Oh my
believe in Shedeur
What a
Sanders.
late flip. Over for Dr. Z. Give
Well, at the pace we're going, we'll be here till 6. I'll take over.
We're going to be done at 5 no matter what. I promise you that.
That's right, Gibby.
Next.
Over, under.
Caleb Williams pass attempts, Gibby. The number is 30.5.
I'm going to go under.
All right, under. He hasn't been under that in a long time, but the conditions and so forth and so on. But that's why we settled on 30.
I'll go under.
Okay. Dr.
Gibby's
T.
going to go under. Gibby, why is it that you don't believe in this football team? Why is it that you say they're
this
just going to
question
be
has
up
nothing to do with
so
this football
they're going to be up so much that they are just going to be able to easily run the football the entire second half? Why don't you believe in us? It's not a rhetorical question.
Again, this question doesn't have any. The
Not a
question has
rhetorical
nothing
question.
to do with me believing or not.
Well, I think it does have something to do with you.
30.5.
Over. He's going to have to be throwing the football. He's been over this number, by the way, in 1, 2, 3, 4,
7 or
5,
eight.
6, 7 straight games.
Next.
Over, under.
All right. Dr. Z, we are looking for a combination of rushing yards from Quinshon Judkins and receiving yards from Harold Fannin Jr. So we're combo plattering them. Quinshon, Harold, 128.5.
Over.
Give me.
So Quinshon Rush.
Quinshon Rush
Plus Harold Fannin receiving.
Yeah. 128.5.
Under.
You have no belief, dude. Are you kidding
Here,
me
I'm
right now?
gonna give Gibby a little bit of credit though here.
Thank you,
At
Bo.
least here's what I'm gonna give you the credit. Gibby now is seeing some strategy. And this is the equivalent of going for 2 down 14.
Don't lump me into that.
Harold Fannin had 100
Ever
yards
lump me into
receiving
that
himself.
thinking. I think we've had this
I had
conversation
you-
off the air.
and then I
Don't
totally-
lump me into this
Hold on a
thinking.
second. You really don't think Quinshon Judkins rushing yards plus Harold Fannin receiving
gonna
yards
tell you right
can
now-
get 120?
By the way,
Harold had that himself.
I believe that Harold will. I need to see it from Quinshon because the offensive line is extraordinarily banged up right now.
They're
I
giving
am
up
a
5 yards a
show-me
carry.
state when
They're
it
giving
comes
up
to
5
it.
yards a carry.
He lived in Missouri. Next.
Jeez Louise.
Over,
Why don't you
under.
just go ahead and say, why are we even playing?
All right, Gibby.
Why are we even playing the game? Gibby wants to cancel the flight. Why are we going to Chicago? We have no chance, according to Gibby.
He's going to come around
Except
right here.
that the person talking right now will be the one tomorrow when we're sitting on the jetway for 90 minutes going, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we
here?
Can't we call this off the TV on Sunday? It's going to be so cold.
I would never say that.
Yes, you would.
First of all, and I got to see the baby
Browns.
dolls tomorrow
1,000,000%.
night.
Gibby,
The baby dolls.
Browns, sacks and turnovers, 4.5.
Over.
There's a little belief. That just doesn't jive with anything else that's going on over here.
Nothing I do jives.
You said,
Well,
brother.
you said, amen.
Get in line.
Wednesday
Try to keep
night
up.
taped. Amen.
Try to keep up, PFF.
Amen.
Nate. Give me some
Amen.
stats. Give me some numbers.
4.5.
4 minutes from now, you'll make a prediction.
4.5. 4.5.
Under.
Oh my God! We've never had a week like this. This could go unbelievably. Next.
Over, under.
All right, these are the G-Man specials. The first one
Yes.
is to you, Dr. Z. Passer rating for Shedeur Sanders, 90.5.
Look it up quick. Look up your numbers.
As somebody who's never won the over-unders, maybe you would have some respect for my methodologies,
Absolutely
considering that
not.
I am 100%
Absolutely
undefeated. 90, you said? I just think conditions.
90.5.
I just think in the conditions it's going to be tough. They'll probably get one pick. He's probably going to throw 2 touchdowns. I think he's going to settle right in around 87. So I'm going to go under.
All right, under. You
Same.
could say
I
he
had
doesn't
it right
believe.
about 88.
You could say he doesn't believe.
I just said 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. I give him a
fine.
great stat line.
Next.
No, I'm above his.
Over,
little-
Oh, you went under
Under.
too. You
I
both
went under.
You went under too.
Yeah.
Next one is for you, Gibby. Another G-Man special. The longest field goal attempt,
I hate you.
47.5 yards. The longest
47.5.
field goal attempted, 47.5.
I'll go under.
Under. Dr. Z.
Under. two aggressive fourth down teams, and in the cold, I think they might opt
right
for
before half. Give it a shot.
They might opt for. You know what? You're right. Over.
Over.
So
Under.
happy. So happy.
We could have this could be the whole thing right here. This could all flip it. Whatever how this all goes. It is the actual, and it's to you, and it's 38.5.
Over.
Give me 38.5.
Under.
Holy moly. This is we've never had it. I mean, there's just so many differences. You guys aren't even remember on the
No
booth
way.
on Sunday. You're not even remember who had what on what.
No,
is
but
how that's gonna
it's
go.
fun.
It's very fun. We'll do the scores coming up next. Cleveland runs daily 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right. We just had the Hatfield cookie. Come on.
That might be no joke. No joke. That might be the best cookie that I've had.
It's a good one.
He said, imagine it fresh.
Well, you just gave it a little nuke, and we were good to go, baby.
Yeah, but he said that. I was told that was a cookie from First Friday that was had on Friday. So that's like oxygenate. I mean, think about how.
That was very good. They did a good job. Good job out of them.
I don't have a midday sweet often. Dr. J was flabbergasted that I had a midday sweet.
Most thing I'll ever get out of you is a dried mango.
Oh God, a cheek. We're out of cheeks. We ate them out of cheeks.
Oh, they're at Costco.
Yeah,
send Nana.
I'll
they
send
have
Nana.
them. They've
Yeah.
got the
I'd
organic
like to have
ones.
cheeks in my home.
Yeah, they have the sack of organic ones.
Whenever I want to smack some cheeks, boom, I can.
Okay. Hey, we're 1-0. You're welcome.
Dr. J. Yeah, 1-0.
1-0, baby.
We are 1-0. We gave it on a Thursday. We even
Thursday.
gave the whole Thursday disclaimer. Oh, you
That's
can't
right.
stop the Bucks.
I know.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently you can.
You can, yeah.
They're in
Sure,
a free fall.
They are in a complete free fall. Yeah. Carolina might win that thing going away.
By the way, how about Mike Evans coming back 6 for 132?
No big deal. I think he'll be able to head top people when he's 60.
What a stud.
He is. Yep.
He is.
He's a stud. One of the great. What was he, like the 7th pick in the draft, something like that? Somewhere in there.
Wasn't. I don't even think it was that early. I think it may have been later.
Was it later?
I think he could have been 13th, maybe. Aaron Donald, I think, was 12th, and maybe he was 13th. I might be wrong because I want to say 7, 8 in that area was where we were, like Barr, Justin Gilbert.
7th.
Oh, you had it. There you go.
7th.
7th. Good call.
32 years old.
Who went? Was Brandon Cooks? Am I thinking of Brandon Cooks in that 13th-ish area? 14th, 15th in that area?
Boy, just a 2-time second-team All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler.
1,000 yards every single season.
Every single season, yeah.
He's going to be a first ballot. Give me that draft. Run that draft. That draft's loaded.
All right, 2014
Yeah.
NFL Draft.
Clowney.
Oh, my gosh. Can we just get to the – let's just get to
Here,
the –
you want me to get to it?
No, I got it. It's just on the – I was in the Wikipedia world, so I was just going to stay with it, and now this is just not –
No. I got you.
Okay, here you go. I got it. Clowney goes 1.
Yep.
Greg Robinson,
2. Blake Bortles, 3.
Yep.
Khalil Mack, 4.
Nope.
No.
Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins, 4.
Who was unbelievable at Clemson.
Khalil Mack, 5.
We have Debo on. Gotta go get
Khalil
him.
Mack, 5.
Khalil Mack, 5. Jake Matthews, 6.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Evans, 7.
7.
Justin
Gilbert, 8. And then Barr.
Anthony Barr.
Okay.
Eric Ebron.
From the Lions.
Taylor Lewan.
Titans.
Odell Beckham Jr.
12. That's why I was in that 12 range. Is Brandon Cooks right around there?
Donald 13, Kyle Fuller 14, Ryan Shazier 15. Man, where his career was headed.
Let's see how this draft is loaded. You just said
loaded.
Errol Donald casually.
Yep. Zach Martin, C.J. Mosley, then Calvin Pryor, Juwan James, Brandon Cooks was 20.
20.
Ha Clinton Dix
22.
21.
John Football
was 22. D Ford 23. Darquez Denard, Jason. Then it starts to fall off a little bit.
Yeah, but then I think the early second round's loaded up again.
Teddy Two Gloves went into the first round. DeMarcus Lawrence, Joel Bitonio, Derek Carr went back to back to back.
Yeah.
They were the second, third, and fourth pick in that round.
Allen Robinson's late in that second round.
Kyle Van Noy went in the second
Still playing.
round. Devontae Adams in the second round.
Teammates of Carr at Fresno State.
Oh, my gosh. Allen Robinson and Jarvis Landry in the second round in this draft.
Yeah.
We were allergic to wide receivers.
Oh, my God. Trey Turner in the third. Devonta Freeman in the – then it starts to get a little bit. But, I mean, we're well into the
This
draft.
is 2014.
Yeah. Man, that's wild.
That draft was loaded.
Yes, it was. It was absolutely
That is
loaded.
a sad thing that have a draft that loaded. We had 2 first-round picks in prime real estate. We came in with Justin Gilbert and John Football.
Almost anybody else around either of them, and you would have been
loaded
up. Yep. Got to hit, kids. It's one thing to have them. It's another thing to hit
use
on
them.
Yep. All right, how'd we do last week? I think you had another great week. You're on a great stretch right now.
Solid. It was going well. It ended not quite as strong. 8-6 for me. Actually, the second half of the day was pretty good. You ended up 7-7, so we're at 56 games over 500 right now.
All right, and 1-0 on the week.
And this week, so that puts it 58.
All right.
Yep.
All right, give it.
Week 15 in the National Football League. Sunday, 1 o'clock. We kick things off from Northern Kentucky. The Bengals will be without T. Higgins. Bengals hosting the Ravens, must win for both. Who had the better week last week? Zagura? Zagura, lead us off.
I think following those Burrow comments, T. Higgins is out. Hendrickson saying I'm done for the year. Their season is kind of over. I'm not saying they're not going to play hard. They're going to, but I just think the Ravens are going to find a way to get this done. And since you only need a field goal to be on the right side of that, I think Ravens will handle this one something like 28-24.
I'm going to go the other way. I don't know. I mean, everything Burrow does is intentional.
He wants out.
I think maybe he does. I think he'll play really well there on Sunday, and I think they'll play really well at home. I like Cincinnati winning this one outright.
Wow. Next up to Kansas City, where the score has actually gotten bigger.
Has it really?
For the Chiefs. Chiefs in dire straits, a huge matchup in the AFC West. Again, because of the TV schedule, the fact that this is a 1 o'clock game is pretty shocking. Chiefs hosting the Chargers. Chiefs, no Hollywood Brown, missing 3 offensive linemen. Bo Bishop.
Hold on a second. You have Chargers, Chiefs, and Bills, Patriots.
Yeah.
And
in
you have
the 1
CBS
o'clock
calling Packers at Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
At 4. They should have split them up. I mean, this is.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's too much.
Too much good here. Look, I just don't think the Chiefs are any good. I don't think they are. I think there's a lot of problems there. I think this feels like an absolute slugfest of a game, probably mirrors the game that the Chargers just played with the Eagles. I could see Kansas City winning this one, but it's going to be really, really close. But I think the Chargers are actually going to win it. I think they're going to beat them 20-17.
That's what you just said is common sense and logical and makes sense with every bit of available information that we have.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like, where's Admiral Akbar? It's a trap. Like, there's just no way Vegas gives away money.
No, they don't.
This seems too obvious.
There's some stuff coming that they're going to feast on, I think.
This feels way too obvious to me. So, therefore, Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, turn back the clock, and the Chiefs win this one big, 30-20.
Next, to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. Ian Eagle, J.J. Watt, Evan Washburn. The Buffalo Bills on the road visiting New England. It is a must-win game for Buffalo if they want to stay in contention for the AFC East. New England has won 10 in a row, Nathan.
By the way, did you see J.J. Watt's tweet about his brother T.J. Watt?
I did not. Oh, yeah, with the
dry needling caused his collapsed lung.
I did see that. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. Yeah, that's nuts. Have you ever done that? Dry needling?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I emerged, fortunately, unscathed.
So did I, yeah.
I really like the Patriots. I like them as a home dog. I like what Vrabel's doing. They're coming off of a bye week, too. I don't think that's anything that should be overlooked at all. So I like the Patriots. I like them to win this game, plain and simple. Good one. I think could be a classic, 27-24 Patriots.
Samesies.
Up next, definitely a candidate for the inmate game of the week. Is Jackson Dart starting?
I believe that to be true.
Okay. Well, this one's pretty gross. Marcus Mariota starts for the Commies. It's Washington at the New York Football Giants. In the 1980s, this was a game you couldn't miss. Now, you can do anything but watch this game.
Yeah.
Commies, Giants, Bo.
Yeah, I think the fact that Mariota's starting actually helps Washington in this one. I know that both these teams are just absolutely brutal. But with Mariota against Denver, they went toe-to-toe, almost sprung an upset. I think they play well. I think they beat the Giants in New York.
Same.
So that game starts a stretch of 3 straight here where we'll talk about backup quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett will officially get the start for Vegas on Sunday against his former team in the city of brotherly love, Eagles, hosting the Raiders. Eagles have lost 3 in a row. This is a perfect get-right game, or is it, Nathan?
Well, they're going to get right. They're going to win this game, but when they're up 17 in the fourth quarter, they're not going to care that Kenny Pickett walks down the field and throws a touchdown to Ashton Genty out of the backfield, hopefully, and gets it down to 10. 35-25. Eagles fly, but that really means the Raiders.
Yeah. I think Kenny will play well.
I do too.
I really think he'll play well. And I think I see it the same as you. I think it feels like at the back door, Kenny Pickett.
Next up in the 1 o'clock window, can the Jags keep it going? Let's hope not. Jags have won 4 in a row. They're 9-4, and they are hosting the Jets, led by Brady Cook. That's right, Brady Cook starting.
The only
Sunday
question here is,
for the
do you believe
JETS.
that the Jags can score 14 points against the Jets? If the answer to that is yes, you know what you must do.
And for me, it is. I picked up the Jaguars defense for my fantasy playoffs this
great
week,
move.
which was a savvy move.
By the way, we mentioned Pitts on the show last night.
We did. Yeah.
What a crud.
I like Jacksonville by $1 billion.
The team trying to keep pace with Jacksonville would be the Houston Texans, winners of 5 in a row, 8-5, playing host to the Arizona Cardinals. I believe Marvin Harrison Jr. continues to be out there as the Cardinals play out the string, Nathan.
You might be able to get him for a bucket of balls if they reset this thing out there.
I'd take a gamble. I'd take
a swing at that.
I'd take a swing at that. Get him back in Ohio?
Yep.
In. Nathan?
This one I feel like should be the Cardinals, but for some reason Houston's defense is just suffocating, and I think the Cardinals are just starting to run out of a little bit of steam. I think Houston's going to get it done. I don't usually like doing this, but I think Houston is going to find a way to get it done, something like 31-20.
Yeah, I little lower scoring for me than that, but I see it the same way you do, 21-10, something like that. I think it's just tough sledding for Arizona. Samesies.
To the 4 o'clock window, CBS, Nance, Romo, Wolfson. The Denver Broncos have won 10 in a row. They are undefeated at home. They are 11-2, and they are hosting the first-place team in the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers, winners of 4 in a row. Bo Bishop, lead us off.
Let me ask you guys a question. In the old days, Sunday Night Football would have flexed out. Maybe. Do you ever flex out of the Cowboys? Never,
Well,
right?
they wouldn't do it.
That's the only reason.
So they wouldn't.
You have 4 options here you could have flexed.
But can they?
Yeah.
They can. Okay,
Yeah.
so now
Oh,
we're to
yeah.
the point where they can.
Oh, yeah.
This
You
should
could
have
flex
been
Monday night, too.
This should have been Packers, Broncos, Lions, Rams, or take one of these 1 o'clock games.
Yeah.
Bills, Patriots, Chargers, Chiefs. I would have not done Chargers, Bills, Patriots.
Bills, Patriots would have been a great Sunday nighter.
Perfect.
I think they were Sunday night earlier in the year, and that's why they can't.
And I've never seen a scenario where the two A teams go head to head at 4 o'clock, and and maybe it's happened and I just didn't notice it. But Nance and Romo on this one, Burkhardt and Brady on the one that follows. I think the Packers are humming right now. I think they are trying to track down the 1 seed. I don't know if they'll get there, but I think they go to Denver and win. I think it's a really good game. I like the Packers winning 24-21. Do pay attention to the scores.
Segura.
I got the Packers to win this one. I think the Packers are going to the Super Bowl. We talked about it yesterday. That was all of our kind of gut reaction, so I say yes.
Okay, then. The other big one at 4 o'clock involves, as Bo mentioned, the Fox A team. Los Angeles and the Rams get back on track. They are 10-3 on the football season. Welcoming in the Detroit Lions. Again, it shocks me when I got to say it's a must-win game for Detroit at 8-5, but that's where you are, and that's how good the NFC is right now. Leons at Ramit, Devontae Adams with a hammy, questionable but expected to play. Nathan.
I think, unfortunately, the Lions don't have enough to go toe-to-toe with the Rams. I've been a Ramit guy all season long. I'm going to continue to be a Ramit guy. They got Blake Corum going with Kyron. They've got Puka Nacua. Stafford's playing well. Devontae's been a beast. I got the Rams winning this one big. I think this will be a fun game, though, but it could be like 35-28.
Yeah, the Rams have lost 3 games this season by a total of 13 points. That's it. That's the list, including the stupefying one to Carolina. I think the Rams win it too, but I think there's a little bit of Lions fight. I see a backdoor for Danny Campbell and the boys. I like the Rams winning, but I think it's really close. I think it's a really good game. I'm going to go 37-32. 37-32.
Up next to the NFC South we go. Bo Bishop's favorite team, the Carolina Panthers.
Great.
7-6, visiting New Orleans and the 3-10 Saints. Both teams, the biggest winning streaks currently in the NFC South at 1 game. Panthers at Saints, Bo.
I'll tell you right now, if this was 22.5 or 32.5 or 42.5, the way that this has gone, I would still take Carolina. Carolina, 175. New Orleans, 6.
They can't be stopped.
They cannot be stopped.
These lines, this would be a tough week to be really going at.
Be in the middle of this, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Somebody said that if this does come to fruition, which I'm now resigned that it does, that I should do the Ocean's 13 and take the money that I owe the 13-year-old and donate it to a charity in his honor.
I like the idea of that.
Which I think is pretty good.
Yeah. Tell them, especially
Cornerstones of Hope?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We would certainly welcome it. Tremendous organization, cornerstoneofhope.org.
Yeah.
Can make a difference in people's lives. And I think that you tell the kids, coming out of the holiday season, we have so much.
Yep.
That let's help those who are in need.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
That's what I'm. Yeah. You get a little certificate for a good job.
Yeah.
A deed well done.
I think what you should do is get the certificate, frame it, and then give it to be like, here's your payment. You've made the world better, and the world knows it was you that did it.
It was you that did it. I like it.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing how that lands with him.
In fact, I think you should even be like,
Please have a camera on him.
I have your you've won.
Yeah.
And so I'm here to pay you out.
Yep.
Lead him into his room, have it already hung.
Segura, we got to go,
on
buddy.
the wall. I think that's what you do.
Saints. I don't want to interrupt the charitable donation part, but we got to go.
We'll make it. He has Panthers too.
Okay.
Yes.
To Fox, the late game, Tennessee, fresh off their win over us. On the road in Santa Clara, where in 55 days the Super Bowl will happen. 49ers visiting the Titans, Segura. Oh, or both.
First of all, the Titans are visiting the Niners. Nate, I called you in the middle of the show. You asked me what was wrong. I decided to ignore you because the Niners are going to win by 100.
Same.
Next, we don't know who's playing
It's going to be Phillip Rivers.
Yes.
Riley Leonard has no injury designation.
I think it's going to be Phillip Rivers. According to folks over there I was reading, all indications are it's going to be Rivers.
Colts at Seahawks.
That's just crazy.
The number is...
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
Seahawks
ram it
by $1 billion.
Yep.
To Sunday Night Football, Minnesota on the road in Dallas. Good news. Won't need to stay up all day to watch that one, although we might still be on the tarmac when this one kicks off.
You'll be in a great
Vikings and Cowboys, Segura.
I don't.
By the way,
anything
CeeDee Lamb
about this
cleared
one.
concussion protocol. He'll play.
Yeah.
Dallas is playing well. I feel like they've got more on the line. Cowboys by a touchdown.
Fine. Same.
This week could be a bloodbath. It could go.
Browns.
It's a crazy week.
In the Monsters of the Midway in Chicago. Segura.
Browns shock the world in
Let's
the face
go.
of Gibbe. My over-under lead stretches to 9, and then it's basically over at that point. Browns 29.
Oh, baby.
Bears 16.
Let's go. Let's go. By the way, speaking of let's go,
30,
go Navy,
30.
beat Army, handle your business. Big number there. Your Sunday lineup, 9 a.m., Browns game day, Ken and Gerard. Browns kickoff show with Andy and Tyvis. And the kickoff from Soldier Field with Andrew, Z, and Gerard at 1 o'clock. We'll be back Monday to break it all down. Thanks for listening. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.